Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about one of my currently favorite authors and favorite series, Bucking Around and the Pucking Universe by Emily Rath, or the Jacksonville Rays universe. Uh, Absolutely incredible. This is book one. This is the new, traditionally published version, the Kensington edition. It was just re-released back in January. You can also find these books on Kindle Unlimited. It's sparkly, so it's very pretty. This book can look a little intimidating. It's about 570 pages. But don't let that intimidate you. It is absolutely incredible and worth the read. Um, this review will have minor spoilers. Just talking about the relationships in this book, not going into anything specific, but or any of the characters specifically, but just talking about oh, my apologies. But just in talking about what Emily intended with this book and how she wrote it. I've seen this book kind of mentioned as a reverse harem, and that is not quite correct. A reverse harem is where all three men, or there are multiple men, or like a large group, kind of centered on like one central female. And while that can kind of be true in this book, this is meant to be a polyamorous book, just because there are multiple different relationships in this book, and I think Emily does a very, very good job describing this in her book and kind of working with all of those relationships and how they all fit together. That is kind of one of the reasons I think it is 570 pages. But you get each of those relationships and how they intermingle with one another, why each one is important, and how this group of four, becomes a single unit. And I think it is just an absolutely incredible and such a beautiful story. And so, my book club started reading this last year, and we absolutely ate it up. Book two of this series, Pucking Sweet, I apologize, Pucking Sweet, comes out later this year in June. Pucking Wild is the second book in the series. It is out already, but is being traditionally republished and will be out on March 26th. You can look it up on Emily's website, or it will be available at all major retailers, Barnes and Noble, Target, everything like that. So it tells the story of the best friend and another Jacksonville Rays hockey player. That one is kind of more of an age gap romance, whereas this one is a polyamory story. Now let's talk about some of the novellas that she has also written. This one is the prequel to this book. This one is about 70 pages. It happens, it's about 115, my apologies. This one happens right before this book takes place. This is between two of the characters out of the four characters in this book. Also available on Kindle Unlimited. It's very cute, highly recommended. I don't have the second one in print yet. It's being delivered by Amazon. But this is Pucking Ever After Volume 1. And this kind of jumps around in the timeline a little bit, but just kind of tells you different stories about all of the characters we have so far and things that are happening in their life 6 months after the book, 2 years after the book. Different stories about other characters as well. And it is just adorable. The second one does that as well. We get to see, well, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to see because this is spoiler free, but it is super cute. I highly recommend it. But don't read any of these. And she does say that these do contain spoilers for the second book, which is Pucking Wild. Again, this is the first book. The second book is Pucking Wild, and then these kind of hop around before the second book, during the second book, and after the second book. But before each chapter, I'll kind of show you. Let me find one. It may not be in here. But there are some in here where she tells you, hey, this takes place before, this book. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't read this chapter. And that's really great. But the audiobooks of these are fantastic. Overall, this entire series is fantastic. The third book, Pucking Sweet, comes out later this year. It is a trio between I won't give anything away, but you can definitely look up Emily Rath's Instagram or her TikTok and kind of get some more information about that. Or you can read Pucking Wild, the second book, and we get a little treat and set up for the third book in that one. But these books are incredible. Don't let the size of them turn you away. They are so good, and I think the representation in these books is so important, and so I love them and just wanted to share.